Masisikmura mo ba ang mga nangyayari? And for the people who will have the stomach for this, they will be rewarded. In 2013, the Ayala Land stock price hit 35. Lumampas pa ng 35 yan. 35.70, I guess, was the highest within 2013. Alam niyo ba yung income nung Ali noong 2013? 12 billion. 12 billion. Last year, 2025, ano ang kita ng Ayala Land? 30 billion. Kung isasama mo pa yung one-off, nung Ayala Alabang, 38 billion. Magkano ang presyo ngayon? 17. From 35 to 17. Ang income, from 12 to 30. Think about how undervalued stocks can be today. Again, remember, you're buying the propensity to earn. Pero dito sa pagpili na to, kailangan isipin natin you don't simply avoid the storm. You actually build a ship that will survive that storm and will sail faster when the winds turn. Dalawa yan Survival ka, pero pag pumilit yan at gumanda ang panahon, dapat nakatuto ka rin. Maganda din dapat ang resulta mo. Hello mga ka-RFF, ito po muli si Rex Mendoza ng Rampver Financials. I hope you are all doing well despite the hardships, challenges, and difficulties that we now face. Alam niyo po, gusto ko ang Pilipino sana nakafocus tayo doon sa resilience. And we're known for that. It's just that at times, parang ang meaning yata ng resilience pagtitiis. Hindi po ganun. Dapat mas empowering yung focus natin on resilience is that other meaning where we should be able to bounce back from difficulties and hardships and end up stronger, wiser, and better. Yun po ang focus ng topic ko ngayon. I'm entitling it Advanced Investment Strategies in Falling Markets. Kasi talaga naman po, nakakatakot talaga ang nangyayari. And many of us might be second-guessing or doubting the investment strategies that we have implemented dahil nga sa mga nangyayari. Alam nyo, may nagtanong nga sa akin Rex, alam namin, ang laki ng stock portfolio mo. Nakakatulog ka pa ba? Alam nyo, ang sagot ko, of course, I'm sleeping like a baby. I am sleeping like a baby. Alam nyo yun, kung paano matulog ang baby? Matutulog, tapos pagkatapos ng 2 oras, gigising, iiyak. Ang laki ng lugi ko. Hindi ba? Tapos sa pagkapagod sa pag-iyak, makakatulog uli. Pagkatapos ng 2 oras, gising na naman, iiyak uli. Yan po, ganyan matulog ang mga baby. And I'm just trying to keep it light because, quite frankly, a lot of us are really, really worried. Sabi nga, kung kailan sukang-suka ka sa market, dun daw pinakamaganda mag-invest. But all of that is easier said than done. In fact, we just had a speaker that we invited. Alam niyo naman, member ako ng True Leaders Club ni Brother Bo. Nandun yung speaker na yun. Alam mo ba ang sabi niya? Noong 1997, lugi siya ng 300 million. Lugi siya ng 300 million. What did he do? Did he stop? No. He focused, paid his debt, and bounced back a lot better after that. One, more knowledgeable and stronger in terms of conviction. And second, dahil nga binayaran niya, kahit napaon siya sa utang, nagkaroon siya ng unforgettable credibility na nagdala sa kanya to the higher level, the highest level of business that he's part of today. Yun ang gusto natin. Kasi, alam nyo, itong mga pangyayaring ito, we always say, oh, this is different. Oh, this one is really going to be difficult. Alam nyo, all through time, I always say this, history repeats itself endlessly for those who are unwilling to learn from the past. Iba-iba lang ho ang kwento, iba-iba lang ang flavor of the month and ang narrative. Pero one thing cuts through all of the crisis that I have seen in my own career. Alam niyo po, this kind of ages me, spanning 4 decades. Every decade, meron niyang crisis. Ano ang tumatahing endgame na narrative dyan? Laging may recovery. Ulitin ko po, laging may recovery. And if we're going to be learning from all that, that will kind of push us to think about the future very differently. Na talagang tanggap mo every time may mangyayaring ganito. Paano ka gagalaw pag nangyaring ganito? Do you look at it as a matter of, something to avoid with so much fear? Or are you looking at it as an opportunity? Again, I go back to what I said. It's easier said than done. But I want to prove my point. Okay? Alam naman natin yung nangyari sa COVID. When it dipped, eventually, there was a recovery. More than 10 years ago, we've seen the 2008 global financial crisis precipitated by the US subprime crisis. Before that, the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Sapul na sapul po tayo doon, ang ating real estate nung panahong yon. But much worse than that is the 1983 to 1984 economic crisis. Again, this was brought about by really, really high inflation. Sabi ko nga, takot na tayo nung 2023, umabot ng lampas 8% ang inflation, almost 9%. Kasi bata pa yung marami sa inyo. If I can tell you, in October of 1984, the inflation rate was 60%. 60%, 60. That year, the inflation rate averaged 50%. Diba ang interest ng pera sa bangko? Over 20 ang treasury bill, umabot ng 40%. Can you just imagine how badly battered things were? Pero alam nyo ba, if I tell you, if I have a time capsule today at maibabalik ko kayo dun sa yugto ng mga crisis na yun, mag-i-invest ka ba? Think about it. If we can go back in time to really get to the midst of that crisis, kung kailan ka sukang-suka, hindi ba? Doon ka papasok. Siguro, madaling sabihin ngayon dahil alam mo tapos na, nag-recover na. But in the midst of where we are today, it's exactly the same thing. But we cannot trust our gut in this particular time. And that's the reason why I tell a lot of people, why do that? Why not structure the courage, structure the wisdom, para hindi mo nasusubukan yung tinatawag na willpower. Alam niyo, at a time like this, lalabas syempre, typical, yung discussion on time in the market versus timing the market. Alam naman natin talaga, time in the market is going to be a lot better. And we're going to be advised to stay the course, stay invested, continue investing, do cost averaging, di ba? Nakafocus tayo sa controlling risk. Don't catch a falling dagger. Be wise enough to just constantly and regularly invest and diversify in other markets and other assets. Lahat po yan given. Pero yun na yung paulit-ulit nating naririnig. And I can tell you, today, I want to refine things a bit. Hindi ko po babaguhin ha. I-refine ko lang kasi RFF tayo eh. Rampvert Financials friends tayo. Dapat meron tayong better grasp of what can be done. A little refinement to make our approach better. Kasi po, talagang given ang lahat ng nakikita natin. And because of the lessons of the past, I myself, personally, have gone through all of these learnings. So much so that I tell myself, Rex, wag mo nang itest yung willpower mo. Gawan na natin ng structure. Gawin nating automatic ang good decisions. I will repeat that. You want to make good decisions automatic and structured. Pag tayo ay open-ended mag-isip, doon tayo kakabahan sa dulo. At maaring hindi natin magagawa ang kailangang gawin. In periods of war, inflation shocks, market volatility, ang correct framing ba? Risk or no risk? How many of you say risk? And how many of you say no risk? Hindi po yun ang tamang framing eh. Both of that actually not true. Both of that, mali. Bakit? There is no such thing as no risk. If you put your money in a safe place today, sigurado ko talo ka ng inflation. So, guaranteed ang return mo, pero guaranteed din ang losses mo. Because the purchasing power of money will actually go down much faster than what you are earning on it. So, yung tinatawag mong no risk, very risky yun. Yun namang risk, pag kinuha mo, are you going to be taking excessive risk or are you going to be having a very different view on risk? Iba po ang dapat na framing nito. Ang framing nito, controlled risk or uncompensated risk. See, we cannot at a time like this go for growth without downside protection. Growth without downside protection gets you to uncompensated risk. Delikado po yan. Dapat whenever you take a higher amount of risk, you have to be paid for it. And that's the reason why choices as to where to put the money is going to be very important. Kaya kailangan po ang usapan, controlled risk. At when we control the risk, we have to be compensated for it. When you take excessive risk without compensation or outright correct compensation, you are going to be losing this ball game. Because the goal is to survive the downturn and be positioned for the recovery. Alam niyo po ang masakit. Alam ng marami to ha. The question is this. What is the most powerful force in the world of finance? That is a question a lot of us can answer. And the answer is compounding. Compounding is the most potent, most powerful force in the field of finance. Pero, ano ang assumption ng compounding? Ang assumption ng compounding is the fact that you have to survive the downturn. Abay, pag nasunog kayo sa downturn, alam nyo naman, kaibigan natin si Edward Lee, siya ang nagsasabi nito, pag masama ang mga nangyari, isang guhit ka lang, ubus ka. O, pag naubos ka, paano yung compounding? Remember, compounding works over time. But if it means that you get to lose at a certain point and lose everything, there will be nothing to compound. And that's the reason why we have to make sure we just don't survive the volatility. We position so that we are going to be in a good vantage point to take advantage when the right time comes. Because recoveries can typically be sharp, early. And this is the most important thing. Psychologically, the hardest to enter. Yung sinasabi ko kanina na easier said than done, totoo po yan. It will be the most difficult to enter. So, why test yourself to have the courage at that particular point? Bakit hindi natin gawa ng rules? Bakit hindi natin gawa ng structures? So, the advice that I will have for you today are 5 high-impact, behaviorally grounded action pointers for investors in equities and managed funds, typically focus on the Filipino, typically focus on our culture. Alam niyo po, maraming pwedeng gawin technically and fundamentally. Itatabi ko yun because my focus here today in this particular topic is behavioral finance. Because, again, ulitin natin yan, money, you've heard this many times, is not technical. Money is behavioral. So dapat po ayusin natin para magawa natin ang paraan so that good decisions become automatic. And this will be based on rules and structures. Number 1 advice. Number 1 high impact advice. Resegment your portfolio. Dapat yung portfolio mo ngayon 2 bucket. Isang survival, isang recovery. To have one pool is a mistake in times of volatility. In times of volatility, you have to define investments and they have to be focused on particular objectives. Bakit? Kasi yung tinatawag na survival bucket na maaaring 50 to 70%, they have to be conservative, income generating, and defensive exposure. This bucket will assure you that you will have what we call survival and downside protection for future compounding. So ano nga hanapin natin dito? High dividend Philippine stocks, nakafocus sa utilities, REITs, may continuous payouts, money market funds, and short duration bond funds. You have to focus on those. And why? Because kahit mahirap ang economy, ang Pilipino naman, for example, utilities. Hindi ka naman maliligo ng less in a week just because mahal ang tubig. Di ba? Hindi eh. Sa tingin nyo, look at telecoms. Baba ang paggamit ng Pilipino sa kanilang mga telepono dahil may difficult times. Mga marites tayo. Magte-text tayo, magba-Viber tayo, mag-chat-chat tayo. In fact, even more so at this time. Mas maraming marites ngayon. Ang drive naman for the utilities and these telcos, hindi naman yan energy focused eh. Diba? So think about it. These are the institutions that will do well. Will they fly? No. But they will give you solid basis for survival. Pero kailangan may recovery ka pa din, which can be 50 to 30%. Kasi dapat kanina 50 to 70. Ito, 50 to as low as 30. Ano ito? Meron ka pa din dapat growth-oriented, high beta exposure. Dapat meron ka pa ring equities, local and global. Meron ka pa ring thematic or sectoral funds. Tech, consumer, recovery. Alam nyo, mas madaling iwasan ng panic selling when you assign roles to capital. Itong capital na to, itong role, recovery. So pag nakikita kong nalulugi yan, okay lang yan. Kasi yan ang babawi pag bumawi yung market. Pero ito yung regular dividend paying. Pag masama nangyayari, I am going to be compensated for waiting. Habang naghihintay ako sa aking recovery, kumikita ako dahil tuloy-tuloy ang dividendo. So when you assign roles to capital, mas lalakas ang loob mo. Number 2, high impact behavioral action pointer is practice strategic averaging, not blind peso cost averaging. Okay? I don't have anything against cost averaging, but I want you to refine it. Traditional cost averaging assumes stable markets. In volatile markets, we have to take advantage and we have to refine our view. Ano ibig sabihin? Bumaba ang market nung 10 to 20%. Dapat, doblehin mo. Hindi yung lagay ka lang ng lagay ng equal. Bumaba ng malalim eh. Doblehin mo. At pag nag-recover ng konti, huminto ka muna. Can you imagine that? If I can double up at the time when the market dropped and you just put the regular, pagbalik ng market, stop ako. Ikaw maglalagay ulit. Sino ang mas may mataas na cost sa atin dalawa? Obviously, ikaw. I will pause or scale down when valuation becomes stretched again. Then, hihintayin ko yung recovery na 20%. Magkaiba yon. Because that will drive me towards a recovery commitment. Ito hindi. Ito yung tinatawag na cost averaging. This is a refined way of cost averaging where I focus on quality and top performing stocks and funds. Why am I doing this? Because I am buying fear deliberately. I am not passively averaging regardless of conditions. Alam kong hindi normal times eh. Pag hindi normal times, I have to take advantage of the panic selling. Panic selling. And that's why I say this. I take advantage of the misery of others. Pag nagpapanik sila, doon ako nagdo-double down. Now, people can say, oh, I can be wrong. Eh, paano pag bumaba pa? Tutuloy ko yung pag-double down ko. Kasi pagbalik, doon ako hihinto eh. Doon ako hihinto, which means my average cost will always be better than yours. Number 3, avoid headline trading. Build a rules-based system. Alam nyo, pag gera, nakikita nyo, markets are narrative heavy. News will constantly trigger emotional decision. Kitang-kita natin to these last 2 weeks. Sarado ba yung State of Hormuz or bukas? Bukas, sara. Bukas, sara. Kaya't baba yung market. Eh, palagay ko nga, nakakaramdam din kayo, mukhang may kumikita dito. Di ba? Ang problema, hindi ka naman nila kinikwentuhan eh. So, hindi mo alam. What happens to you? You become the victim of the gyrations. So, never get into headline trading. Always discipline yourself to do other things. Ano ito? Dapat may mga non-negotiable tayo. Number 1, rebalance only quarterly. When you rebalance very often, you will lose out on cost. Number 2, no selling during sharp declines unless fundamentals change. You sell because fundamentals change, not because there are sharp declines. Kung hindi, kayo yung nasa negative side ng panic selling. Kayo yung biktima. Letter C, and almost very importantly, predefine allocation bands. If I'm going to be 60% on equity, I will be 60% on equity. It has to be as brave as that. Don't you notice? These are what fund managers do. These are what high net worth investors do. Unfortunately, this is not what average investors do. Yung mga novice investors, hindi ganito. Wala silang rules eh. Kaya nasusway sila. Okay? Nawawala yung tinatawag na behavioral edge. And what is the behavioral edge? You will replace emotional reactivity with process discipline. May rules na eh. So yung proseso, cast in stone. Kahit takot ka, hindi mo pwedeng gawin ito. The key differentiator for high net worth investors, tatapatin ko kayo, high net worth investors do this all the time. Structure your investment portfolio with discipline. Willpower is unreliable. Structure is powerful. Rules set forth would be powerful. Alam nyo, sabi ko to ha, hindi nyo napapansin sa behavioral psychology ng bawat tao. Lalo na sa mga Pilipino. Yung tamang gawin, hindi natin ginagawa. Yung mali, mas ginagawa natin. Bakit kaya? Tanungin niyo yung sarili niyo. Why is it hard to do the right thing? And why is it easy to do the wrong thing? And I will tell you the underlying reason. I call it the 2 P's. Pain and pleasure. We do things that give us pleasure. We avoid things that give us pain. In bad markets, it's so difficult to invest because it can be painful. Short-term wise, it can be painful. So we will avoid pain and go for the more pleasurable track. Eh alam nating mali eh. So maganda, gawin mong rule para hindi mo kailangan isipin. Don't test yourself because you will always fall to temptation. Doing the right thing is not easy. And that's why you have to put guardrails in your reactive template. Number 4, tilt towards resilient sectors and cash flow generators. In the Philippine and global context, you have to prioritize A, sinabi na natin to kanina, essential sectors. Power, utilities, telcos. B, cash flow businesses, REITs, high dividend paying firms. And lastly, global diversification, dividend paying feeder funds investing in the US and global markets. Alam niyo, think of it ha. Eh, alam niyo naman, nasa Ramper Online lahat ng choices niyo. Sino mga top performer? Atram's Infrastructure Fund, BPI's Infrastructure Fund, and SLAMC's World Equity Index. Nagkakandaletse-letse na ang market, yung mga infrastructure fund up ng 16 at 15%. If you're not up that much, I get to beg the question, what are you doing managing your portfolio? Di ba? Lagi natin sasabi, oh, high fees, high fees. O at least di ka nalugi. I'm not even saying high fees because the fees are logical. They're rational. You pay for performance. If they're not performing, you can take your money out. But if you're not making 15 to 16%, then you have to be able to give it to someone who will do that for you at a minimal price. The behavioral edge is the fact that you reduce volatility drag while staying invested. And in fact, think growth at a time that is bad for many. Number 5, high impact behavioral pointer. Pre-commit to a recovery trigger plan. Most investors miss recoveries because fear peaks. Fear peaks right before the markets rebound. Yung capitulation, yung sukang-suka lahat, yung takot na takot lahat. In fact, yung idol nga ni Warren Buffett, di ba? Sinulat yan ni Benjamin Graham sa libro niya. The investor's chief problem and even his worst enemy is likely to be himself. Benjamin Graham, teacher yan ni Warren Buffett. Yan ang sinabi niya. So instead of relying on yourself to do the right decision at that particular time, di pre-commit mo na yung recovery trigger plan mo. What does that mean? Alam naman natin sa technical, pag bumawi ng 20%, that is structurally a recovery. So dapat pag bumalik ng 15 to 20, gradually increasean mo ng equity exposure. Tumaya ka na. Dahil lumampas na dun sa tinatawag na technical trigger point. If inflation stabilizes and central banks pivot, add to growth stocks and funds. Pag yung inflation nag-tilt na, and we will be seeing that soon, bumababa ng presyo ng gasolina, once nag-taper off ang inflation, medyo malapit ng kailangan ang build-up. If global indices recover breadth, which they have done already, we risk internationally. Try to put money in global funds, in equity indices, which can be focused on the US, on global markets, even on Asia. The behavioral edge is you remove hesitation at the exact moment conviction is the hardest. Yung pinakamahirap na oras na magbigay ng conviction sa market, tanggalin mo na yung hesitation doon. Gawin mong automatic for yourself. So, in a time like this, do we avoid risk or do we position for recovery? The answer is both. But kailangan sequentially and structurally. Para walang halong emotion. Walang halong alinlangan. We will base our actions on structural moves and process standards that will lead us to correct decisions. On the short term, we reduce fragile risk over leveraged positions and speculative play. Pang good times yan. Tanggalin natin yan. Medium to long term, accumulate tayo ng high quality risk assets at better valuations. Tingnan nyo. Isipin nyo. When you buy a stock, you're buying the propensity of that company to earn money. You're taking a piece of that capability to earn. Yun ang binibili mo sa isang stock. Alam nyo ba, just to give you an example, Ayala Land, and I think disclosure-wise, you all know I'm a director. In 2013, the Ayala Land stock price hit 35. Lumampas pa ng 35 yan. 35.70, I guess, was the highest within 2013. Alam nyo ba yung income nung Ali noong 2013? 12 billion. 12 billion. Last year, 2025, ano ang kita ng Ayala Land? 30 billion. Kung isasama mo pa yung one-off, nung Ayala Alabang, 38 billion. Magkano ang presyo ngayon? 17. From 35 to 17. Ang income, from 12 to 30. Think about how undervalued stocks can be today. Again, remember, you're buying the propensity to earn. Pero dito sa pagpili na to, kailangan isipin natin you don't simply avoid the storm. You actually build a ship that will survive that storm and will sail faster when the winds turn. Dalawa yan Survival ka, pero pag pumihit yan at gumanda ang panahon, dapat nakatuto ka rin. Maganda din dapat ang resulta mo. The biggest enemy right now is simply volatility. It's not. Many people think the biggest enemy is volatility. No, it's not. Volatility is not the enemy. Volatility is now the level playing field. That is the playing field. All of us are within it. So ano ang risk? What's the biggest enemy? Behavioral error. The emotions that get to us, our hearts, okay? Our minds. Sabi ko nga, ang test dito sa organ na dapat, hindi brain, hindi puso. Hindi yung mga yan. Stomach. Masisikmura mo ba ang mga nangyayari? And for the people who will have the stomach for this, they will be rewarded. So avoid panic selling at lows, avoid freezing and missing the rebound. I will tell you, it is not a knowledge problem. Most of us know what to do. We just don't do that. It's a behavior execution problem. We will have to execute, we will have to structure and process to make good decisions automatic. Alam nyo, people fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't structure their portfolios and make good decisions automatic. Pag automatic na, nagagawa mo ng kahit takot na takot ka. Nagagawa mo kahit alam mo sa sarili mo hindi mo dapat gawin. Pero yan ang tama because you've set forth the rule before you are in that given challenging position. So sino ba yung mga investors na mananalo dito? The investors who will win in this environment are those who are, number one, they stay strategically invested. B, they stay structured. And C, they are psychologically prepared. The winners are the same winners of the past crisis. And as I've said, once in 10 years, more or less, these things happen. So think to yourself, if I have a 40-year career and it happened to me 4 times, I had 4 great opportunities. I should be taking advantage of that because at my age, baka hindi na ganun karaming opportunity ang hinaharap. And that's the reason why we will have to look at this very, very differently. I want this to be fully ingrained in all of you. Wars create volatility. Volatility creates fear. Fear creates mispricing. And mispricing creates opportunity. Markets reward courage, but it's not simply plain courage. It is courage backed by wisdom. Rex Mendoza yan, Wars create volatility. Volatility creates fear. Fear creates mispricing. Mispricing creates opportunity. Markets reward courage backed by wisdom. Mga ka-RFF, ito pong muli si Rex Mendoza sa amin, sa Rambert Financials. Gusto namin lahat tayo winner. Itong nangyayari ngayon, maaaring in 5 years, hindi na natin pinag-uusapan ito. Iba na ang pinag-uusapan natin. But you know what? I'd like all of you to be able to look back and say, I was able to take advantage of that crisis because nakinig ako sa Rambert Financials at nag-guide ako ng Rambert Financials. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, aming mga ka-RFF, at kinasisiyan namin ang inyong suporta. Maraming salamat. Blessings all.